All right, so welcome everyone to the Power Half Hour. It's back now after last week's shareholder summit. And today we have a super special guest. He's my idol, man. This guy is the most humble, the most modest, and I met him a few years ago from the Mike Ferry program. And he's just doing big things with eXp Realty, and just such a pleasure to have him here. This is his 20th year in real estate, right, Vincent?
Yeah.
20th year. And you've owned how many branches before coming to eXp?
Three Exit Realty franchises.
Three Exit Realty franchises. Okay. So with that said, how many agents did you have in all the three franchises?
At the highest point, about 330, probably.
330.
Yeah.
You ever seen the emoji where the mind blowing emoji? Yeah, that's what I am right now, man. Congratulations. And it must have been a big you took a huge step and a huge risk coming over.
I did. I did I did my research and I saw that you went over, right? Because I bumped into you in Vegas at one of the masterminds. I was like, hey, if John's over, then it must be something to this. I definitely did research, and it was a big move, but my mindset was that, I could have just kind of kept coasting where I was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. We were doing great. We were, number one in our state for like the last 12 years, and it would have been fine. But as real estate agents, we're out there telling our clients, hey, you have to own, right? If you don't own, you're not creating wealth.
Right.
And my renewals were coming up with my franchise. And I'm like, do I want to renew again? Do I want to rent again?
Right.
Do I want to rent for 5 years again? Right. And I had three of them. So it was like, they were all kind of staggered. So it was like, how am I ever going to break out of this if I don't break out of it now? Right.
So you had to cut the cord, so to speak.
Oh, man. And it was tough. And from, research to when we moved in was it was less than a month to move in.
Whoa.
It was almost forced. So
exposure, research, and then joining was all within a month because you had to. Yeah. The agreements were coming up, and then you just had to make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of a struggle, at the day with the franchise and how they handled things, but I didn't get everybody over because when I made that announcement, or they almost made the announcement for me, put it that way. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of my agents didn't even know anything about eXp yet.
Right.
So, I had to start from there. So it's a little sad to say that I only brought in 150 people.
Only.
I mean, but that's my life's work, and
that's
not
true.
only my life's work, but my parents too, because I took over the brokerage, right?
Oh my goodness.
All that we put into it, we ended up with 150, and so I feel like I'm almost starting all over, right?
Almost, not all over, but that's so it was from you took over from your parents. The brokerage business, was it always Exit Realty, or was it something else?
No, we were an independent company for 17 years before we converted.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Did you ever actually sell real estate, or did you jump in as a broker?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So if I did a live yesterday with my partner, who was my cousin. And, I started with her 20 years ago. So we were just in, and when I opened up the second location, that's when I pulled back and I said, let me pull back on selling.
Right.
And he was my partner. And I said, okay, you take the selling, I'll take the management of the company.
Okay. Got it. So you pulled back then. So when was that when you pulled back with the second branch?
Probably about 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago is when I opened the second branch. Yeah.
Good stuff. And so for 10 years, you were selling and running a brokerage into the second office. Right. So what was your production like, and were you a team or an individual?
I was a partnership.
Partnership.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I couldn't tell you, but we were the top of the office between the two of us, and we were young in the business.
Right.
You know, we were young in the business. It was independent, and we brought a little bit of technology in there, so honestly, it was fairly easy to 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 rise to the top.
Mm. Well,
Okay,
it's never easy to rise to the top. I mean, you were relentless about it.
it wasn't that bad.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Um, so I think that it's this impatient persistence that I have. Where I'm not like, I'm grateful, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not content. I'm not
Mm.
satisfied, right? So that's that hunger, and I feel like that is the killer of dreams, right? If you
That's
get
awesome.
you're not moving and you're not doing any of these things that you really want to do.
Yeah, guys, that's so great. I want to reiterate that. You want to be grateful for what you already have, but you always have to be eager for more, right? Defeat complacency at all costs, like I always talk about. So, and you have three boys and they're all young. How old are you, by the way, Vince?
I just turned 42 last week.
42 last week. I have 2 years to catch up to Vincent Koo. I'm going to get it.
Yeah,
So
42 last week.
besides your three boys, your business, like what drives you to be so relentless in your work?
I, like I said, I feel like right now I feel like I'm catching up.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So I don't feel like I've arrived. I you know the owner of the franchise that I was with, Exit Realty, their main office was in Toronto, actually, and I
Oh,
would go
wow.
there fairly often. And they had this huge statue there. It was a big bronze statue, and it was a guy, and he had this hammer that he was holding up like Thor, right?
Right.
And in his other hand was a chisel, and he was kind of hammering that chisel and creating himself, right?
Mm,
What was the name of it? It was called uh, I forgot, but it was pretty cool because it's like, you're creating your own character, you're creating your own future, right?
mm.
And so every time I run into something kind of tough, I think about that, and I think that you know that's what I'm doing. I'm creating myself, I'm creating my character, I'm creating my future.
Wow. So guys, listen up. Like you are creating
Self-made
yourself
man.
every single day. What was it?
Yeah, self-made man.
Self-made man.
Yeah, it was from a sculptor in Colorado, I think.
Oh, I think I've seen it. So it's kind of like, even if you go back even further, Michelangelo creating David or whatever, same analogy, right? So you're creating your life as you go along.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Good stuff. Hey, so let me ask you, because right now New York is, we're blessed over here in Canada. We have people from all over North America, but tell us about New York right now, how you're doing business.
New York's a little tough right now. Everything is fairly locked down. They say they're going to be opening on the 7th of June,
Hmm.
but we don't know. I think we're part of phase two. Um,
Right,
so it's strange because we're considered essential, but
right.
we're not allowed to do any in-person showings.
No
So
in-person showings,
yeah,
but you are deemed essential. I
yeah,
don't know
which is
how that works. That's
and
crazy.
we weren't deemed essential from the beginning. So it
Got it.
was, hey, you're not essential. Then 2.5 weeks later, hey, you are essential, right? But get this, no cold calling
No cold calling, guys.
until September something, 17th,
Wow.
right?
So for those of you guys on this call and on Facebook, if you're dreading cold calling, imagine having it taken away from you. See, all over North America, we get to cold call, but New York, my gosh. So,
Yeah, business is still getting done. I mean,
okay,
think about it. You could still call all of your past clients. You could
got it.
call all of the people that reached out to you.
Right.
I think it's within the last 18 months, if they reached out to you and had an inquiry within that time, reach out to them and find out if they're still in the market. It's just that everything has to be done virtual. So,
Yeah.
like it or not, they're going to have to do these virtual presentations and consultations, and regardless if you have virtual tours or not.
Man, so like with that all being said, there's a lot of restrictions and limitations to doing business, and yet business is still getting done.
We have to. Yeah. We have to, right? And it's tough, and it's something that we have to get used to as agents, but the buyers and the sellers have to get used to it as well, you know?
Right.
We're doing these virtual walkthroughs with the seller and trying to get a good visual on the place, but they can't hold the camera still, you know?
Yeah, man. So I guess my selfish question would be, through all that limitation, restriction, how are you keeping your team, your agents, fired up, you know, like inspired and still motivated through all this?
Doing stuff like this, you know, like, getting them involved. Zoom meetings. We have our happy hours on Fridays. We just came from we moved our office meeting into the world. We have a private team suite that we take advantage of. So, all of those things, private Facebook groups that we have. So we're gathering as much as we can.
Okay. So we're doing the right thing over here then, right?
100%.
Just your weekly Zooms.
I was just thinking about your mind, body, and soul group, your COVID mind, body, and soul. Give me your 30-day goals. And I watched the people in that group. My gosh, it's such an amazing group of people that hold themselves to such a high level of accountability.
Yeah, thank you. And I have to give kudos to my good friend Eddie Oberoi. He brought the idea. I think for San Jose, they were pretty locked down and they couldn't do much. And so what we could do was start groups and just keep each other inspired. And that's what we did. And, so for anybody that's on the call right now, if you are interested in joining our COVID 30-day goal, mind, body, and soul group, hit me up, let me know. All right. So yeah, man, Vince, what are 3 to 5 tips that you have for the audience here, to stay strong and to advance our businesses instead of staying stagnant?
You know what I realized recently was, I've been building the offices for so long and trying to build that brand for so long that I haven't been focusing on my own, right? So, I learned very recently that is the biggest thing, and that's the most important thing right now, is to build your personal brand, because that's what's going to follow you.
Oh.
Right? So, so now, every time I have the opportunity for a microphone and a stage, I take it. Because when you have that opportunity, that's when you could present your heroic attributes, right?
Heroic attributes. Okay.
Heroic attributes. And it's not even about what you say, but it's about everything, because as humans, everything has meaning, right? So what we say, what we don't say, all of it has meaning. And it's all about how the audience translates that, right? Like, I've seen you on stage, John, and when I see you on stage, I see somebody that, knows what they're talking about, right? Is very smart, very well spoken. I also see family behind that. So your microphone and your stage is not only platforms like this, or like when I saw you on stage at the Mike Ferry events,
right.
Also what you do and what you say on social media, what you make public, right? So, that's kind of what I've been paying attention to recently. And I've got a coach around that and all that stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Man, you got a coach for social media and getting out there and presenting yourself?
I've got a coach for content and branding, and it's Twitcher. It is, because I don't like to do this stuff. It's not supernatural for me. And it's funny, John and I jumped on and we were chatting earlier, and he's like, I'm kind of nervous about today. He's like, and I'm like, why are you nervous? I'm nervous. Like, you got a bunch of rock stars on your group, in your group. Like, why should you be nervous? And we're kind of, saying who's more nervous. It was right?
But you know what? You're then doing a good job. You're listening to your coach because I see you a lot now out on social media, more than ever before.
I'm trying. I'm
Yeah,
trying. Yesterday, uh, I did my first show, Vincent Koo Live.
that's
So
awesome.
on my Facebook page. So those of you guys, check it out. Let me know what you think. John, I'll get you on there soon.
Oh,
Um,
thank you, thank you. I didn't see the episode, and yet when I looked at how you branded it, how you promoted it, I was just telling my wife, man, I gotta, kick up my game over here. It doesn't look as nice as Vincent. So yeah, we'll definitely chat more about that. So building your brand online, building your brand on social media, and really getting out there because everybody's online right now. Can't do much else. You can't do face to face. Right. So really doing that, spending energy on that. What else are you doing to keep the mind strong?
what else am I doing to keep the mind? I went to I don't know if this relates, but this is in my mind. I went to the Mexico Freedom Summit, and that was like
Mm.
maybe less than a month before this whole lockdown thing, right? And Rob Flick's money coach was there. Um,
Mm.
what was his name? Dave something. Dave Stetch. He was at.
Yes, he was on We Were Built for This
Yes,
episode.
yes, and seeing him live, it was amazing. The content that he put out. Um, and he said something that I think is very relevant right now. He said, "Do fewer bigger things with fewer better people through fewer deeper relationships."
That's a tongue twister right there. Say that 3 times fast.
Right?
Build fewer bigger things.
Do fewer bigger things, right?
Do
Do
bigger fewer things
yeah,
with
that too, right? With fewer better people
fewer better people
through fewer deeper relationships.
through fewer deeper relationships. So really what I'm hearing is simplifying your life and concentrating and really laser focus on a few things.
Right. And this whole pause kind of forced that on us a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Who are
Right.
you going to spend your time with? I mean, as much as we could go virtual and be spread around the world, who we keep in our circle, we want to keep very tight.
Okay. So keep it very tight, build your brand. And I guess another thing that I really wanted to touch on is when I was doing the 5 a.m. club and I started posting on social media, I think 2017. And
Mhm.
then I see Vincent Crew with the 4:30 crew with Lisa Grecia. And I'm like,
Yes,
dude, man,
yes.
that's
Um, Lisa started it. She pulled me in, and I was her broker at the time,
right.
right? And so you kind of feel like, hey, these guys ask you to do something, you're gonna want to do it, right? So she's like, hey, Vincent, let's go run the track, and I hate running,
Right.
but she's like, let's do it, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And it was probably like January or February. It was like, or well, no, it was November, so it was starting to get cold.
Right.
We started to do that, and we did it straight through the winter until we realized, like, what are we doing? Let's just join a gym, right? We had a challenge
Right.
finding a gym that opened at 4:30,
Mm.
but we ended up doing that for 3 years up until they closed the gyms in New York.
Wow, 3 years straight, 4:30 in the morning. You didn't post as much at one point, but you guys were always there 4:30.
Always, yeah, and it should have been checked in.
Right.
Lisa was in charge of that. So
Right.
I mean, listen, we did it 3 days a week, so it wasn't like we're there every day. But
Got it.
those were always great days because you just get more done. You have more energy. I have like you mentioned, I have these 3 kids, and once they wake up, forget it.
Wow. Okay. So besides like waking up, getting more done, why do you think waking up that early, like an ungodly hour, is important for you?
It's kind of like you're willing to do things that others are not willing to do.
Got it.
Okay, like I'm willing to go out there and I'm willing to work harder and I'm willing to hold myself accountable to something that I don't think a lot of people would be willing to do.
Mm.
And I don't know, I find comfort in that.
What's that saying? Like, if you're willing to do what others are not willing to do, you'll get to live the life that others cannot get to live.
That's it.
Right. So every day, you know, you're doing that. You're doing that, and that's why you're crushing it.
I'm trying. I don't have it all. You know, I quit drinking a while back too, and then I think that that helped with things. You know, it's been like almost 9 months. I know that you're on a little bit of a stretch too.
Yeah, I just drank on Friday actually. So,
Oh,
but
nice.
you know what? 30 days at a time. I gotta say, my mind, body, and soul feels a lot better when I don't drink.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna keep that as long as possible. Is that because I remember seeing you at events and you would always have a drink in your hand, obviously at the
yeah,
cocktail party,
yeah.
whatnot, right?
You can't
But
avoid it as a real estate agent, almost, right?
yeah. So now 9 months. Why did you quit? Besides just
Honestly, no reason.
no
You know,
reason.
it's not like I hit rock bottom or something like that. Strange or with someone strange or anything like that. It was just like one day spontaneously. It was just like um, I don't know. I was like, I think I have enough. I had enough.
You had enough.
And
Okay.
then I started looking into it. Um, I did 30 days last year,
Right.
and that was torture because I didn't want to do it at that time.
Right.
Right? I did 30 days, and I really didn't want to do it, and you know, it was tough to get through, but I did it. And then, you know, almost 9 months ago, I just one day I was just like, you know what? I think I'm good. And I read a book. It was called This Naked Mind.
This naked mind. Okay.
Yeah, This Naked Mind, and it was they call it quit literature, right?
Right.
And yeah, I read it. I thought it was interesting, and it just stuck. And it hasn't been terrible. It
Yeah.
hasn't.
Well, you and I talked about this. It's all about social drinking, and you want to be social with friends, but now we can't be social. It's actually a lot easier to not drink.
Yeah, well, I used to, you know, that was my rest at home, you know. So
Right.
after a hard day's work, so you know, friends or no friends, you know, I was having a nightcap, right?
Good for you. Now it's all clean for 9 months. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Man, that's not easy. And you also do this weird diet. Tell us more about that. How's that helping you with your mind, body, and soul? Like all
I think
meat.
it's great. I think it's great. People think I'm crazy, and so I follow this carnivore way of eating,
Hmm.
where I only eat meat and meat products. Like I do dairy or whatever, but yeah. So all day, every day, all I eat are steaks, and it's been really good for me. Really
Wow.
good. Like my blood pressure is the lowest it's been in my adult life.
Okay, listen to this. Eating animal products and meat only, and your blood pressure is
Right?
is the lowest in your life.
Lowest in my adult life. I've always been, you know, close to like, you know, the doctor's like, you better watch out. You know, you're too young to have it that high.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I'm on this thing for like, you know, 6 months, and I went to the doctor, and they're like, wow, not bad. You
That's
know, mood
amazing.
is good. I don't get hangry
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, wow.
I eat whenever I want, and you know, I'm leaner than I've ever been. Um, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if it's for everybody.
Right.
I'm
It
not
is
like
pretty crazy.
go
So
out
no
there,
carbs? No carbs, no veggies or
no carbs, no veg, no fruit.
what?
Yeah, and you know, I have a weakness for um, sweets now. Uh,
Right.
ever since I stopped drinking, but
You
you
got to
know,
compensate for something else bad, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I still try to avoid that too. You know,
Yeah.
but it
Wow.
hasn't been. I don't feel bad. I'm really happy with my meals. You know, I'm super happy with my meals. I love my steak.
Definitely. The
Yeah.
ones you post on Facebook, I just get hangry when I look at it. But no, this is good. Thank you. I, something I notice about you, Vince, no matter what happens, you always seem so calm, cool, and collected.
Thank you.
How?
I don't know. I guess it's like it's like it's like a deep, body of water, right? You don't know what's going on beneath, right?
Mm,
But what you have on the outside is what you have on the outside. I mean, I've done all the work on myself, and I
yeah.
continue to do it with Tony Robbins and
Mm.
landmark education and all that stuff. So I still practice that stuff, but you know, I don't know if I've really flipped out recently. Maybe it's all the mood, you know.
I guess you wouldn't flip out on social media, but it's actually you've done the work. So guys, Tony Robbins, Landmark, maybe PSI, NLP, whatever it is, go and do that right now, because God knows we're under a lot of stress.
Well, we're all going in August, right, to Dallas for Brent Gove's event. Tony Robbins is going to be there, and it's probably one of the most affordable Tony Robbins
Event.
ever,
Yes.
right? So
$195, guys. If you guys are interested, hit us up. But it's going to be a great event, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to be opened up.
I don't know. Brent says it is.
Brent's eternal optimist. So we'll see. But hey man, we got a few minutes left. I want to open it up to all of our agents in the crowd here who has some questions for Vince.
Hey Vincent, it's Brian Hatch in sunny White Rock, BC, not far from most of our host. I wanted to ask you, do you meditate?
I used to, and I don't enough, and I want to. My wife says I need to. She says there's too much going on that I don't stop. So yeah, I like guided meditation, more than anything else. But I'm open. I have to learn to meditate, I think.
Nice. So you don't do it that much, but and you should, but you do some, and this is how calm you get to be.
I've done the Wim Hof breathing exercises and the cold
showers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice bath. I love that. I love Wim Hof, man.
Not the ice bath, but the quick cold shower, and that's it. I heard New York was super cold.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian, for your question. Anybody else?
Hi, Vincent. This is Gary from LA.
Gary.
Yeah. What is your morning routine like? You start at 4:30. You do your exercise, and what follows?
Yeah. So I just like the time, the quiet time. So even though I'm not doing the meditation, that's my time. That's when I'm like with my coffee and doing anything and everything I want to do. Usually I'm listening to something in the morning. I can't read anymore, man. After I turned 40, I can't see. It's 2 years, John, and it's going to happen to you.
We have audiobooks.
Right. But I'm all over the audiobooks. Yeah. So I do a lot of listening to the audiobooks. And recently, after EXP, I started doing a lot of listening to the Facebook trainings that I see, right? So there's so many top people that are putting out such great content. So I'll just save those things, and then during those times, that's when I'll pop those headphones in.
Thank you.
Perfect. So 4:30, wake up, go and do some workout, Gary, and then we're on to the self-development stuff.
Yeah.
Endless self-development stuff. Awesome. Who else? We got one more.
I have a question about, hi Vincent, it's Simone from Calgary. Just about Agent Attraction, how big's your organization right now? And what's your goal for 2020?
So my group is 393 now. I really wanted to go for 1,000 by the end of the year. In order to be on pace, I have to get 150 some odd agents this month before the end of the month. So I'm a little bit behind, but the way that this compounds, I feel like if we continue to work on it, it's very doable. And, my thought is to, as much as possible, grow by multiplication, which is go out there and speak to the larger groups, and the brokerages. So I'm trying to do more of that. So instantly, I mean, we've had calls with brokerages of 250, 30, 10, 15. And you never know. And when you get one of those and the timing is right, all of a sudden your group multiplies, right?
Really good, thanks.
That's a great question, Simone. And I'm just again amazed at just how matter of fact you are, Vincent. It's like, yeah, our goal is 1,000, and we talk to large groups. And that's it.
So my thought was 10% a month.
10% a month. Got it.
And what happened was, I would miss them by a little bit. And I'd have people on my team saying, we should readjust that goal. And I'm like, no way. It's just a few more. If we go out there and reach out to the people that we know, there's no way that we can't hit that.
Got it. I got a question for you. How is that predictable? Because I know how to grow wide because I personally refer, friends in the business. I can grow wide easily. But what are you doing to grow deep?
Okay. As soon as they come in, and this is hard to do, it's really speed to lead. When you have them ready, you have a window of opportunity before they fully move on board. That's when their sphere will listen to them.
Right.
Okay. So I introduced a partner in Florida, and before he made the move, we got him to reach out to everybody he knows, right? And pretty much say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Right. So that's when we sparked the interest. And then it was something called a personal group presentation. You guys do that?
Yeah, we do that. Well, I guess we do that. Well, Simone's kind enough to do it with Pablo and Mark. Every Friday, we have a half an hour EXP Explain call.
So that's an EXP Explain call, right? What a PGP is, it's a personal group presentation where one person does the inviting. Okay? One person does the inviting, they put a group together and they put them in front of you, or they put them in front of Simone.
Oh.
Yeah. And what they do is they talk about, how awesome you are, how awesome Simone is, and then they let you loose and you guys do your presentation.
With the model explained or just talking?
Yeah, with the model explained.
But one person inviting the whole group.
Yeah, one person inviting all the group. So think about it. You got somebody that's coming in. It's brand new for them. It's brand new for them. Or right now, any one of you guys right now can go out there and say, hey, listen, I've got John doing a special webinar for me, for my group. Right? And if I get you a link, would you attend?
If I would you.
Right.
If I would you.
If I could get you this link, I don't know if I can. I don't know if he has space, but if I could, would you jump on?
Right.
Right? And then you could fill the room. And even if it was 5 people, would it be worth it?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, right? But what if you could get 30 people in there?
Yeah.
Right?
Guys, this is what I love about Vincent, and this is what I love about EXP. There is absolutely no holding back on him sharing this golden nugget, guys. Did you guys hear that in the group? All 41 of us, if we're all EXP, listen up. That's what we need to do, personal group presentations. Yeah,
and do it for your own groups, right? Do it for that next person that comes in, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to win because of that.
Oh man, I'm inspired. I got some really actionable items that I can tap into. Vincent, thank you so much for today. And now I know the secret sauce to becoming cool, calm, collected, and a killer at the same time. Thank you. Okay, so before we go, any last thoughts for the crowd?
Yeah, here's one. When they used to say this a lot. When you're down, reach up. When you're up, reach down. All right. So it's so easy for us to go out there and help people because that's, we're kind of wired to go out and help, right? But a lot of us, when we need help, we're not willing to kind of reach up and say, I need a hand, right? So I think it's important for all of us to know and be aware that there's two ways you could go.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And this is me reaching up to you today. And thank you for reaching down at me and pulling me up, sir. So again, thank you so much for today. I hope everyone has a great day. I acknowledge you for being on and sharing with us so generously. Thank you.
Honored. Take care, guys.
All right, brother.